In the beginning, Mortal Kombat shocked people with its gore and violence. It even helped usher in the ESRB video game rating system going forward. No doubt, this played a major role in Mortal Kombat's initial success. It felt like Mortal Kombat eventually won people over with its gameplay, its characters, aesthetic, and story. The likes of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Goro, Melina, and Johnny Cage have transcended Mortal Kombat. They've become iconic in the video gaming world and pop culture as a whole. As we received sequel after sequel in the franchise, people really started latching onto those characters and the story of Mortal Kombat. When it comes to storytelling, many people think of modern Mortal Kombat games because of their story modes that feature cutscenes that essentially form a movie when put together. However, Mortal Kombat has always had a rich story, even dating back to the originals. They may not have had the cutscenes like we see today, but the story was told through the bios and sometimes canon endings of each character, as well as the opening images, text, or cinematics of the games. Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, for example, had awesome opening cinematics that still hold up to this day and still have a special place in fans' hearts. Then of course we saw a reboot of the series with Mortal Kombat 9 where essentially the story restarted, but this time it would feature changes to certain story elements and its characters. This story continued all the way through Mortal Kombat X and then culminated with Mortal Kombat 11, which introduced us to the concept of a multiverse and different timelines featuring different events and different versions of our favorite characters. So, many have been left wondering what is next for Mortal Kombat's story. Ed Boon has stated that Mortal Kombat 12's story will pick up after Mortal Kombat 11's. So it will be a continuation of some sort, not a total reboot as if the events never took place. Now what that looks like exactly remains to be seen. With the ending of Mortal Kombat 11's Aftermath story expansion, we know it featured two separate endings, one where Fire God Liu Kang resets the timeline all the way back to the era of the Great Kung Lao, and the other where Shang Tsung enslaves everyone and rules the world. I've seen so many theories that maybe we'll get a split story mode that sees both of these scenarios playing out, one story where you continue in the era of the Great Kung Lao, and the other where Shang Tsung is complete power. That's possible and could be interesting. Perhaps one is the story mode, as we've been getting with the chapters and all, and the other takes place through a conquest-like mode, or maybe they're split up story modes like we got with Mortal Kombat vs. DC. However, I'm thinking instead we're more likely to get something totally new. It's worth pointing out that the last few games have not been what we thought they would be story-wise. We always thought they'd continue the story cliffhanger that the last game set up, but that has yet to amount to more than just the first chapter in the following game, before a curveball takes us in a completely unexpected direction instead. For example, Mortal Kombat Armageddon teased one thing, and that ultimately was only followed up in the opening cinematic for Mortal Kombat 9. Mortal Kombat 9 ended with a tease with Shinnok and Quan Chi in the events of Mortal Kombat 4, but that was quickly abbreviated in the opening of Mortal Kombat X before they jumped ahead 25 years. Then Mortal Kombat X teased Dark Raiden taking over and threatening the Netherrealm, but that was quickly summed up in the opening of Mortal Kombat 11 before Kronika was introduced and Dark Raiden was no longer the focus. Point being, there's a precedent here of things being set up and teased at the end of the game, and it really doesn't amount to the focus of the next game's story. Rather, something that acts as a quick transition to something totally different. So with that being said, I would not expect Mortal Kombat 12's story to go the way we think it will. It also logistically should serve as a whole new story being told, like the start of a new trilogy. And if that's the case, I will say I don't think retreading the past is the way to go. I don't think we need to relive the events of Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 again, and quite frankly, the way that was handled in MK9 was one of the bigger criticisms fans had, so I don't think it's worth rolling those dice again. Plus, there's never been more of a clamoring for 3D era characters to be given a chance to shine than there is now. And with Ed's comment that they aim to fix the perception that they hate those characters, reliving the trilogy era would not make that possible unless they majorly change everything about it. Additionally, nothing can recapture the magic of MK1 through 3. No matter how many times it's told, how many attempts to get it right, you just can't account for nostalgia and how things affected you when you were younger. Things were just so much more exciting, that sense of wonder, and you lack the critical mind that you have now with a lot more mileage and baggage, so it's just not worth it. Instead, I think it's time for something completely new. A new story with a new spin on these characters. It'd be a bit hard to just plop a random story into a random point in time while featuring all of these characters that people are hoping for, so instead I'm almost expecting a clean slate of sorts. They've started doing this with the animated movies like what we got with Snowblind, so it's possible we get something like that for Mortal Kombat 12's story direction. An Elseworlds of sorts. Different universe, different timeline, events are different, characters are a bit different, it will have the comfort of familiar characters and settings, while being able to tell a fresh story that they can mold into their own from the very start. The risk of this, of course, is that our favorite characters might not be exactly as we remember them. Think comic book stories like Flashpoint, Kingdom Come, or Marvel's What If series. Let me know what you think. Would you be open to them basically starting from scratch and telling the story that they want to tell? Fresh, clean slate? And are you a bit worried about how some characters might not be exactly as how you remember them if they do something like that? Let me know in the comments below what you would prefer story-wise for Mortal Kombat 12, as well as like the video, as it really helps me out. It's something very simple that you can do. It takes you 2 seconds, completely free. It just means other people will check out the video because it's going to get spread more, as well as subscribe because you're not going to want to miss any of the content leading into Mortal Kombat 12. We're putting out constant content like this, as well as podcasts every week, and we'd love to have you as a part of our community. So check out the description. You can find our Discord link in there, and come talk Mortal Kombat with us every single day. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you on the next one.